discovered in the backyard of an Akron woman who's been missing now for more than a month.
I'm looking back at text messages thinking, I'm feeling guilty.
Very loving person, always smiling, give you the shirt off her back.
How you doing? Is Martha here? She's probably at her boyfriend's house.
On a warm September afternoon in Akron, Ohio, something in a quiet backyard didn't look right. It was just a simple ring of bricks, an ordinary fire pit behind an aging home on Krause Street. Nothing special, nothing sinister. But for Robin's family, who had been searching for her for more than a month, everything about that spot suddenly felt wrong. They had walked that yard dozens of times before, desperate for any sign of her. Phone calls had gone straight to voicemail. Doctor's appointments she never missed were abandoned. Flyers were taped to stop signs, bus shelters, and the peeling siding of her own home. Still, no answers. But today, something finally tugged at their instincts hard enough to stop them in their tracks. A strange shift in the ash. A loose patch of dirt. A piece of charred paper peeking out of the gray dust. It was Angela, Robin's cousin, who knelt down and picked it up. The edges were burned black and curled inward, but the middle of the page, miraculously, was untouched. One word remained: Jehovah. And in that moment, everyone who knew Robin felt a cold wave roll through their stomach. Because Robin would never, under any circumstance, burn her Bible. That single word, weighted with ash, smoke, and something far darker, was the first piece of a truth that had been waiting in that yard for more than a month. A truth 18 years in the making. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to Famous Crime Cases, the place where I bring you rare, unsettling, and sometimes unbelievable true crime stories along with a few things you might wish you never learned. I upload new episodes twice a week, so if that sounds like your kind of content, make sure you join the Famous Crime family by hitting subscribe and turning on all notifications. And now for today's silly little question. What is the one thing in your life that holds the greatest value to you right now?
Summit County medical examiner and Akron police working tonight to answer a lot of questions, including who was the person buried in the backyard? Was this a murder? And if so, who's the killer? Anthropologists, along with a forensic scene recovery team from Mercyhurst University, called to a backyard on Krause Street in Akron to methodically dig up and document human remains buried in a fire pit. Charles Long, who works across the street,
it startled us. We couldn't believe it.
Was saddened by what appeared to be an intense, taped-off crime scene.
Oh, it's shocking. I mean, to think it's right here, you know. I mean, that's amazing to us that it would be that close to home.
The digging took place at the home of 53-year-old Robin Freitag. Her family reported her missing last week, stating no one had heard from Robin in more than a month. Missing person flyers posted on her front door and on telephone poles. Police say her disappearance was already on their radar.
We've came out, we've checked the property on more than one occasion, even prior to the report being taken. We've had calls from doctors' offices saying that she didn't show up for appointment. It was unusual. Could you go out and check the welfare?
But nothing suspicious was found at the house until a family member searching the backyard yesterday found a body in the fire pit. Police are not following any other leads on Robin's whereabouts, but it's too early to tell if the unearthed remains are hers.
And that is obviously a critical component for us to identify this individual and to let the next of kin know for certain that this is their loved one.
By mid-afternoon, the remains were transported to the Summit County Medical Examiner's office. Tonight, police not naming any suspects, but they're treating the case as a homicide.
Well, of course, we're going to treat it as a suspicious death, potential homicide at this point, but until we have a chance to really examine the remains, we don't know exactly what we're dealing with.
Investigators say it could take days to positively identify the human remains, even weeks if DNA testing is needed. In Akron, Bob Jones.
Before everything went wrong, Martha Robin Freitag was simply a good person. The kind of person the world doesn't produce enough of. She was a mother, a grandmother, a sister, a daughter, and the friend you could call at 2 a.m. without hesitation. She smiled with her whole face. She'd hand you her coat, her last dollar, her meal, without needing to be asked. If a neighbor needed help lifting a couch, Robin was at the door. If a friend needed a place to stay, she fluffed a pillow for the spare couch. If a stranger needed directions, she'd walk them halfway there. She didn't have much, but she shared everything she did. Robin was brilliant too, so intelligent she had once been accepted into Mensa, the the society for the top 2% of IQ scores. But she never bragged. Her intelligence showed up in small, practical ways. Repairing curtain rods with mismatched tools, stretching a tight budget, making something out of nothing. Her home on Krause Street was her sanctuary. Colorful curtains she sewed herself. Walls painted bright enough to make winter feel like spring. A little backyard kingdom built for her grandson. Trampoline, tree fort, and space to simply be a kid. And always at her heel was Sammy, her old black Labrador. Slow, clumsy, loyal to a fault. Robin was also deeply spiritual. She studied the Bible every week with Jehovah's Witnesses. She treated scripture with respect, pages marked with notes, corners never bent, always placed gently on a clean surface. So when Angela held that burnt page with the word Jehovah, she knew instantly. Robin did not burn this. Someone else did. By late July 2018, something felt off. Robin didn't answer her phone, didn't reply to text messages, didn't show up for Bible study or medical appointments, didn't visit family. Days turned into a week, then two, then more. For someone else, this might not have raised alarms. But Robin? She always stayed in touch. She always showed up. She always kept her word. Her daughter Kim tried to reason with herself. Maybe mom's phone died. Maybe she's busy. Maybe she needs space. But deep down, she knew something wasn't right. Neighbors hadn't seen her. Friends hadn't heard from her. Her doctors even contacted police because she missed important appointments. By early August, Robin had simply disappeared. Kim filed a missing person report on September 5th. Her voice cracked when she said what she feared most. "I think my mom's boyfriend did something to her."
Just come outside. How you doing? Is Martha here? She's probably at her boyfriend's house. What's your name, bud? David. David Callahan? All right, come on down here for me. Just have a seat if you would. Why do you think she's at her boyfriend's house? That's where she stays most of the time. Where's that at? I don't know. Are you the only one here? You and the dog? She's here maybe a couple times a week. Actually been just split up for a year. Been separate bedrooms. She gets surprised. She's been on and off her medication. I don't know how many times. It's top secret. Concerned doctors fighting against 604 to computer. Well, that's part of the reason we're out here, because no one in her family's talked to her since July. Just texted her. No, she hasn't. She has another phone besides. So you get to text her? Do you get to text her? She has. Yeah, I see her very randomly here. The house is in her name. Not the house 8 years ago. Right. I mean, I'm making arrangements to move off slow for sure. I just don't have the money. Right. I'm trying to. So, she sees something else. What's his name? I don't even know. I've never met him. Where does he live at? No. I have no idea. What, does he live in Akron? So? You would think so. But you don't know. No, I mean. Is she in Ohio? Yeah, as far as I know, yes. When's the last time you talked to her? Probably 5-6 days ago, maybe. Where was that at? It was here. She stopped. I said to see her passing. I was leaving.
When officers arrived at Robin's house, they were greeted by a man named David Callahan, Robin's longtime on-again off-again partner of nearly 18 years. David seemed casual, detached, almost rehearsed. He claimed they'd been basically separated for a year. She stayed with another man most nights. He didn't know where she was. She had another phone. She was schizophrenic and off her meds. But officers sensed something was off. His answers were vague, his details conflicting, his manner calm, too calm. Yet the house itself showed no obvious signs of violence. No broken windows. No overturned furniture. No blood. Nothing. Police left with no leads. David stayed in the home. And Robin remained missing. What nobody realized then was that the truth was only a few yards away. Buried. Share your answer in the comments, I'd love to hear it. A huge thank you to all of our subscribers and viewers for your continued support. You truly keep this channel going. To understand this case, you have to picture Krause Street itself. Once, decades ago, it was a bustling neighborhood filled with families, kids riding bikes, neighbors grilling on weekends. But over time, homes deteriorated. Some were abandoned, others demolished. By 2018, only 2 houses remained standing on Robin's end of the street, hers and the one next door. Both would soon be marked by tragedy. Just months earlier, the house beside Robin's burned down, killing an elderly woman inside. Her daughter believed something about the fire felt suspicious, missing items, strange disturbances, but officials chalked it up to an accident. Still, the entire area felt unsettled, haunted by unresolved questions. As Robin's family stapled her missing posters to nearby poles, they couldn't shake the eerie stillness of the area. Nearly every property around her had been torn down, trees overgrown, grass tall, silence heavy, and yet something kept pulling them back to the house, and especially to the backyard. Between July and September, police performed several welfare checks at Robin's home, 5 or 6 in total. Sometimes the house was locked, sometimes it wasn't, but each time, nothing looked suspicious. Not a single officer examined the fire pit. Why would they? Every home on that street had one. It was ordinary, normal, unremarkable. But Robin's family, people who loved her, felt the atmosphere shifting. The way the yard looked disturbed, the strange piles of dirt, the uneasy silence. They didn't know why. They only knew something was very wrong. On September 12th, Robin's cousin Angela returned to the home with other family members. She felt a pull toward the property she couldn't explain. As she scanned the yard, she noticed small clumps of dirt scattered across the lawn, dirt that didn't look natural, as if someone had dug a hole and the soil had clung to their shoes before falling off. The family poked around the yard, digging small patches, but they found nothing. Frustrated, overwhelmed, Angela looked up at the sky and whispered, "Robin, we need a sign. Please." She had no idea she was standing only feet from the truth. The next day, September 13th, the family returned with renewed purpose. This time, they headed straight for the fire pit. It was only a few feet wide, a simple circle of bricks, something you'd expect to see in any backyard. But when Angela nudged the ashes with her shoe, they shifted unnaturally, like the surface had been arranged to hide something beneath. Then she saw the burnt scrap of paper. Jehovah, Robin's Bible, her most sacred possession. Robin would never burn her Bible. Never. That's when panic set in. The family dropped to their knees, brushing away the ashes by hand. Soft at first, then frantic. Beneath the ash was fresh, loose soil. Beneath the soil, a strange layer of rocks, as if someone had tried to disguise a burial. Within moments, someone whispered, "Oh my God, what is this?" They stopped digging. They called police. They stepped back and waited. It didn't take long. By mid-afternoon, forensic anthropologists uncovered human remains. Robin had been home the whole time, feet away from where her grandson once played, hidden in the yard she built with love, covered by the fire pit she used for family gatherings. The medical examiner confirmed it. The remains were Robin. Cause of death: blunt force trauma to the head, violent, intentional, lethal. The only person living with her at the time? David Callahan. Investigators pieced the timeline together. Robin last heard from on July 31st, 2018. Digital activity faded by early August. Family couldn't reach her. David stayed in the house alone. David sent suspicious messages pretending to be Robin. David was jailed in mid-September on unrelated charges. Everything pointed to him. When David appeared in court on charges of murder, domestic violence, and evidence tampering, he showed almost no emotion. No tears. No apology. No shock. Just a flat stare and an occasional smirk. Robin's family filled the benches, broken, angry, hopeful for justice. 4 months, evidence piled up, anthropologists' reports, digital records, the fire pit excavation. A trial was set for March 27, 2019. But that morning, something unexpected happened. Instead of fighting the charges, David pled guilty. All of them. No plea deal. No excuses. No remorse. He offered nothing. No explanation, no confession, no acknowledgement. Just emptiness. On May 6, 2019, Robin's daughter Amy stood before the court. Her voice trembled as she described a strained relationship she had always hoped to fix. "I don't think anyone should be out in the world with someone like him," she said. "He's a predator." Angela described the moment she found the burned Bible page. Pam Steele, David's own sister, spoke too. "He has no remorse," she said through tears. "I love my brother, but Robin had an incredible heart. She thought she could fix him, and it cost her life." Judge Allison Breaux delivered the sentence. Life in prison, eligible for parole after 18 years. As David was led away in handcuffs, his expression never changed. But Robin's story wasn't defined by him. On September 16th, months after her body was found, family and friends gathered, not to search, but to honor. They wore her favorite colors, bright, bold, cheerful. They shared stories, her homemade curtains, her painted rooms, her love for Sammy.
Very loving person, always smiling, give you the shirt off her back if it was her last one.
Friends and family of Freitags came out by the dozen Sunday night to say goodbye, and they finished their tribute with a balloon release. Police, the victim's family, and even members of his own family are blaming this guy for her death, 52-year-old David Culligan.
How dark do you have to be? How demonized do you have to be to take your loved one's life like that?
That's Pam Steele. She's Culligan's sister. Steele says she's known Freitag for 15 years as her brother's girlfriend, and she was like part of the family.
She was very creative. She was forever doing things in her house, making curtains, painting rooms.
Steele says she hasn't talked to her brother for nearly a year, but still had a strong relationship with Freitag. She blames herself for not noticing the signs.
I'm looking back at text messages thinking, I'm feeling guilty. I'm thinking she's, it wasn't like she would call me up or text me and said that she was being abused. She would just say they'd be in an argument, he's really mad, and he's like getting in my face.
According to Akron police, the 53-year-old was found dead in a fire pit in her own backyard. Her family had reported her missing and was even searching for her body for weeks. For now, they have closure, but both sides of the family want justice.
Be safe out there. I'll see you again soon. If you found the story meaningful, consider subscribing to Famous Crime Cases for more real-life investigation and human stories.